see through your skin. I'm not your guardian. I can't see through
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official USF Esports live stream. I'm Tavin, joined today by, unfortunately, nobody. It's going to be a solo cast today as we are heading into round 5 of CVal, our USF gold team going up against UTSA. The Roadrunners are 2-2, I believe, in CVal from what I looked, while USF is 1-2 and had a bye week. So should be a pretty good game here. We are going to get started here soon enough. First map will be Split, picked by UTSA, followed by, I believe it was Bind by USF, with the decider being Abyss. So we have a fun map pool, a different one. Haven't seen a lot of Split so far out of this USF team. It usually ends up being the decider map instead of one of the early maps. But like I said, it's going to be a solo cast, but we make do. We make the best possible situation out of some unfortunate situations. And it looks like they've already selected all the agents here, so we should be getting into the map here soon enough at the start whenever we are ready. Some tech problems are going to delay it a tiny, tiny bit here, but you're not going to be missing much. They're just going to be buying their pistols at the start of the pistol round, and if they even load in, because it's taking a little bit for them to load in from what I'm being told here as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun one. I'm going to be opening up chat here, so even though it's going to be a 3-minute delay, I'm going to try to interact with you guys as much as possible because I am alone here. We do have an observer, but their job's going to be busy to be observing instead of, you know, talking to me. So here we go here as we are finally in the game. USF going to be starting on that defensive side here, and UTSA on the attack side. Pretty different, very different lineups actually out of both teams. USF with the Raze, Viper, Tejo, Astra, Breach, the double smoke, double initiator lineup, and the Raze as the duelist of choice. UTSA going for the Tejo, Breach, so the same initiators, but very different elsewhere with the Omen, Jet, and Cypher to close out the comp. So we might see some early fights here. Glorious pushing through with that Frenzy, finding the first blood onto P-Word, onto the Jet, starting it off strong for the Bulls with that first blood, as the rest of this UTSA team is trying to make some noise at A with 3 of them pushing B. USF going for a little bit of a rotate here, but so far it's working in UTSA's favor, who have the numbers advantage on this B site, while Tejo is making all this noise at A and drawing so much attention. Gunfights go through, and Yakov is going to lose that. Finds 2, the Tejo for UTSA, evening it out 3-3 before getting traded out as the information moves through that UTSA is now on site, pushing through onto the B. Trades fall as well, 2v2, a minute to go, but the bomb is going to be planted here soon enough. David Gravy setting up the stun, finally goes through. That with the Tejo util is going to be very detrimental for UTSA as the flash comes out. They push through. Player backside, player going towards CT. First kill goes to UTSA on Mock, the Cypher, making it a 1v2 here for Davey Gravy. Smokes are out, going to delay it a little bit from him being able to push through. Trying to find the first kill as Mock, the Cypher, finds the 3K in this opening round. I would ask my color commentator to break down that round, but as we mentioned, there is no other color commentator, so here I am. That was a pretty interesting round, so to say. Pistols are always complicated, but liked the idea out of UTSA to make a ton of noise all over that A side with the Tejo to draw the rotates. USF maybe a little bit over-eager to rotate and giving up the B site a little bit too easily. And that clearly paid off in the favor of the Roadrunners. Now USF looking to mostly stack A, but a mid-play out of UTSA looks to be the move here. Smoke's going to delay it and slow it down a lot. Shorty in mid. Aid's hiding behind his smoke. Hide a little bit more in vents as first blood comes through. Mock, who's been absolutely on fire so far in these first 2 rounds, finds another kill. The Shorty potentially going to find a kill here. Hayes not going to find it. Does a lot of damage to the Jet, but not finding the final shot necessary. Going to back up, going to go all the way into CT, and Bomb looks to be going towards that B side. USF trying to rotate, but they have much, much weaker weaponry. They're on site now, going to get that bomb planted. USF split a little bit 2-2. Not really sure where the entirety of this UTSA team is, even though they are all on site. USF does not have that information. It's pushing through from CT. Very, very split push out of USF. Probably playing mostly for exit picks. But UTSA kind of going hunting here. The Jet might find a kill on a Davy, and there it is with the Bulldog connecting onto that first shot. Glorious has a Sheriff potentially, but USF finally pushes through. Smokes and flashes coming out. Kills going their way. Glorious finds 2. Make that 3 with the Sheriff. USF on the Eco Post pistol, making it dangerous, making it detrimental for UTSA. Tejo Util gonna delay it a little bit. The Classic does a little bit of damage, and now Glorious, the only one remaining for USF. Sheriff in hand, gonna start diffusing. Gets it to half, might just stick it the whole way. I don't know if he has time, he doesn't. But he is gonna get pushed, and that's everybody dead for UTSA as well. So USF make it very, very costly. Do end up losing that round, USF, but UTSA don't save anything into their bonus round, so it's gonna be very difficult to deal with all of USF's rifles that should be coming through here. Okay, I'm being told that USF is 2-2. So I think I misread the schedules. CVal's website is a little confusing. I'm gonna be completely honest. I struggled to understand that website a little bit because of the way they were wording things. So if USF is 2-2, from the thing I read, then I believe UTSA should be 3-2 or 2-3, something like that. While USF is 2-2, and if USF wins, we qualify for playoffs. So potentially both teams with playoff lives on the line. I'm going to get more information on that later on to confirm it for sure. But USF starting off strong here in this round number 3, finding the first blood. Glorious yet again. He's been doing a ton on this Astra for the Bulls so far in this first map. USF doing a great job of slowing down this mid push out of UTSA with this Viper smoke. And UTSA, they don't want to push through that. Smart. Don't want to deal with that decay. Don't want to deal with a potential molly. More smokes coming through as they finally flash out and go through. They try to get into vents. USF not playing in vents just yet, but Tejo Util is going to be very dangerous in there. Forces them out. Forces them to make that decision to go either through vents to B or through vents to A. They do choose B instead. They are trying to get in the mailroom. XDC finds the first kill, gets traded away, but USF keep the numbers advantage. Hayes is quite low, but trying to get back in here onto site to back up Glorious, who gets another kill of his own here. USF in a 4 versus 2 against the Eco of UTSA on their bonus. Make it a 1v3 now for UTSA, and Davey finds the final kill. USF get back on the board. Pretty good round for the Bulls. You're probably happy with that if you're UTSA, considering how many weapons you might have taken from USF. 2 kills and 2 rifles on your bonus when you didn't have anything except maybe a couple sheriffs to work with. You're probably pretty happy with that, especially now that you get onto a full buy and USF doesn't have a ton of money to work with. They do have enough to buy rifles, but there's a lot of half shields and potentially missing some util on the side here. So it should be pretty interesting round. Seems like both teams aren't doing too great with economically here. Util being traded out pretty early from both sides, trying to gain any sort of information possible. 3 players from UTSA in Garage running through to Glorious, who gets forced out and gets taken away immediately. He's been very good for USF in the early and late rounds here so far. So getting taken out is a massive deal for the Roadrunners, but USF now potentially trying to play for this mid situation here. Tejo is here. The site is completely empty. UTSA does not know that. Stuns come through. So does Tejo Util. Trying to find this kill. They know this Tejo's here on UTSA's side, but do not end up finding it as they now have to back up and protect their site.
I know exactly where you are.
Neural Theft comes through, giving information to UTSA that nobody is on site at all. And the big double stun plus Tejo combo is going to be so difficult to deal with for USF, who have to give up sight completely and have to play for this 4v5 retake now. But 2 kills fall early. Davey and XTC connecting onto their 1v1s, able to make a little bit of space, and they delay the bomb being planted. 30 seconds to go here. UTSA are kind of corralled. They don't really have many places they can go. Finally, Mock is going to come in on the site, but there's a grenade there. The trip is going to trigger onto Yakult, who backs up, but the grenade finds the kill onto Mock, who gets the bomb planted, but USF 4v2 have enough weaponry to work with here on this retake. They know that this raise is here, and Yakult just blast packs through, making all of the distraction, making all of the noise possible as Hayes finds a double and USF gets a defuse. Great play out of USF. Very well coordinated, making sure to play off of each other's entries here. Aware that Yakult is going to make a lot of noise and be a big distraction, blast packing and flying through the sky, but great job out of Hades to push through with the rest of his team to find those 2 kills and put USF all tied up at 2 here and force UTSA onto an eco. XTC doesn't look like he has enough money to buy, but Yakult might drop for him, and there it is. He does end up dropping for him. So USF full inventory to work with, a couple ultimates as well with Glorious and having his, and then XTC and Gravy both being quite close to their own. But UTSA doing a great job of keeping up as well. Very, very close, 1 to 2 orbs away from 4 different ultimates to work with here, as they seem to be going for a little bit of a default. 2 players garage, 2 players mid, and the Omen making noise A. Util is going to force them to back up here, potentially looking to go to this A site, I believe, as the Omen has been getting a little bit of information, hasn't pushed up too far, but USF not fully committing to a rotate, keeping Yakult here to anchor this site, and has Davey on the breach right in vents, ready to back him up if anything starts happening. Shots go through, doesn't connect on anything. 3 peaks, but then it's double swung, and the Sheriff finds the kill, putting USF at a disadvantage numbers-wise and potentially feeding away a Vandal to UTSA here. As the jet jumps through, whoa! What a shot through the smoke by Davey to even it out 4-4. And now him and Hades going to play ramps here, trying to find another kill. King Kai on the breach is lurking back here. I believe USF is expecting this. Hades pinged it out. Tejo ultimate gonna come through as well, force USF to get away from this site, but Davey finds the first kill and gets his ultimate as well. Rolling Thunder comes through and USF pushes aggressively, following it, forcing all 3 players into one corner, and all kills fall. Hades with another double, XTC with the opening kill, and that's another round for USF, who have now won 3 in a row. Good round out of USF. I keep saying it, but they've been playing very, very well as a team here. I feel like all these retakes have been well coordinated. Even the ones where they didn't quite have the weaponry and were stuck with shorties and sheriffs, they did a very good job of playing off of each other's util. Early on in the season, it felt like it was something that the Bulls were very much lacking in, was that teamwork and that synergy, but they've been playing in so many matches together in these past few weeks that they've really got that down right now, and they've done a great job of bringing it to every single game. UTSA has also been doing a very good job as well in this game, finding kills with much weaker weaponry multiple times over, and making it difficult for USF as they now go for a quick 5-man push over towards this A side. USF just letting them go through, going for a pinch play as well. Yakult gets some shots off onto the Omen, almost finds that kill. The bomb will get planted. It's planted for Heaven. They don't have much Heaven control, so it could be a little bit difficult for the post plant to be played by UTSA, but they do find that first blood, opening up a little bit of space as they're heavily pushed in to screens, looking to make a push into CT, or for any USF players looking to get into screens. But Davey finds the first kill from outside. Hades gets one of his own. Isn't expecting the second player, but he's there. He finds the kill, and USF with a quick retake. 3v2 now, drops the molly, trying to go through. The Rolling Thunder from UTSA is going to delay this retake a little bit. First kill falls. Tejo from UTSA finds it, making it 2v2, as now Hades is on site, pushing in aggressively. The flash finds the kill as Davey gets the other. I believe there's just enough time to get the defuse, maybe? Oh, 0.02! That's gotta feel so rough for USF, so close, but UTSA managed to scrape it out and tie it all back up 3-3, and get enough money to get themselves a mostly good buy here. Going to be a lot of half shields, but enough to get Vandals and 1 Guardian across the board. USF does have enough to full buy themselves, and do get an off dropped here onto Yakult. Not putting a lot on the scoreboard in terms of his KDA, but has been doing a lot of work with the blast pack and being a good distraction on these entries when they need to for the retakes. But now the offhand early peek is going to find that first blood and repositions himself into a great position. I don't think they're going to be expecting him here due to that Tejo util, but going to reposition all the way over into ramps as Hades dropped his Viper ultimate in mid. That pit is going to slow down anything UTSA might think of doing on the rotates. Yakult expecting at least 1 more player here. The Omen is lurking. If he peeks at the wrong time, the shot's going to be missed. The TP is going to get that Omen away. So Yakult not going to find too much else with the op here for a while in this round, as UTSA is getting that rotation all the way over towards B. The Astra is there though, and we've seen the first few rounds Glorious was very, very good for USF at being self-sufficient on this site, using his util, trying to delay this push as he gets stunned and comboed. Omen ultimate gonna TP himself all the way over to B. XTC preparing his Tejo ultimate though to delay this post-plant, this plan possibly. Isn't gonna get it stopped, but does find one kill with it and drops through, finds a double himself with the Vandal. Can he get the 4K? He doesn't. The Tejo from UTSA able to get the trade right back. He gets a double of his own before Davey finds the final kill and will get that defuse, and USF stop any sort of momentum from UTSA and getting themselves to 4-3. And that's just, I kept talking about the USF teamwork on their retakes, but there it's just XTC did all the work possible, getting the kill with the ultimate and then dropping down, finding 2 with the Vandal, and from there USF were just in a great position to succeed in that round and cancel any plans that UTSA had for the post plant, and puts them right back into a save here with just 1 Sheriff and a little bit of shields, 1 full shield on the Jet. Does have his ultimate, so could be something to keep an eye on there, see if he pulls out the knives, and does choose to go with the half shield, so it could be a little bit easier to deal with for USF, but still definitely dangerous with those knives. Could be quite lethal here as UTSA does aim to go towards this A site. Some spams through the smokes from Glorious, finds the first blood onto Mock. And now Hades playing around his smoke, trying to find where these players, and there it is, the Jet with the knives, jumps around, flies all over the place, doesn't connect as much as necessary as XTC finds the kill, and then Hades finds the lurker with the help of Davey Gravy, putting USF in a good situation here in this anti-eco 4v1 now, as Rice did find the kill with the Classic, but not able to get too much else out of it. USF now just waiting for the breach from UTSA to reveal himself on where he might be here. And not really too much that can be done. Might be able to find a kill with the Classic right click here, but USF not going to get aggressive, not going to push into it. They have no concerns whatsoever about this situation they're in, so these last 30 seconds is probably going to be a lot of sitting around corners and waiting about what's going to happen.
30 seconds left.
Not much UTSA could have done in that round. Decided to go full with Classics, just 1 Sheriff in hand and Jet ultimate. That's a difficult situation to be in when it comes to your finances in Valorant. Now losing 2 rounds in a row yet again. They not that you want to lose rounds consistently, but winning that round did ruin their loss streak bonus. So getting the econ back up while struggling to win rounds is something that's very difficult to handle when you're playing this game. So as much as UTSA is happy that they won that round number, I believe that round number 6, it did make it a lot more difficult for them to deal with consistent loss streaks and getting that money back up. And now they do have a full buy yet again, but USF is in a much better situation financially here with all of their rifles and so much money in the bank as well. But really, Tejo ultimate got that pretty quickly. He used that just 2 rounds ago, it feels like. Aggressive play down A. They just push through Heaven completely, and USF doesn't really play there. They're just letting UTSA push in, and they fall into their laps, and they deal with it afterwards as Glorious finds the first kill. XTC getting a little bit of information with that drone on where these UTSA players might be. They will get the bomb planted despite being behind on numbers, but USF is right here ready for this retake, and they know just exactly where most of these UTSA players are going to be. They're just waiting for the right timing. And as the flash comes through now, UTSA able to back up a little bit from it, but some shots come through with spam as well. Rice finds the first kill for UTSA, evening it out 4-4. Glorious is going to divide the world here as the Neural Theft comes out as well, giving that information over to the Roadrunners. Davey is holding this angle with the op as USF is going to choose to just stick it. The util is going to cut through, might find the kill onto XTC as Glorious is on a 4K, getting all the space for USF, might find the ace, and there it is. The Astra for USF, absolutely massive for the Bulls in this round, getting the ace and getting the defuse. USF up 3 rounds now, 6-3. That's just tough. That was so chaotic. There was like 4 or 5 ultimates used all at once. So much util, so many smokes, Tejo util everywhere, stuns from both breaches. It just gets so difficult to deal with anything, no matter what side you're on, and USF just did a very, very good job of staying calm through the chaos and finding the kills necessary. Mostly Glorious, who got that ace and cleared up all the space for the Bulls. I think I just saw he was 15-5. We're 9 rounds in. Just an insane performance out of this Astra. UTSA look to be going towards this A site yet again here now. Aiming to go towards ramp. It's been pretty good for them. They've been finding the kills. They've been getting bomb plants. So just getting that post plant figured out has been what UTSA needs to do. They've been pretty good in the early rounds of at least finding a pick or being in the right position to get things done, but they're pushing aggressively through Viper Wall to decay. Just so difficult to deal with as First Blood goes in USF's favor, and the stun plus shots from Glorious is enough to get another kill in their favor. And now they just continue to push in aggressively, and USF is in the perfect positions for all of it. Glorious and Hades combine to take 3 down early on in this round. Bomb does get planted, but it's a 2v5 now for UTSA. USF is just pinching their position, getting together this pincer formation and trying to connect onto all of these kills. And there it is, finds another one. Glorious. One player left on site. Astro Util is going to come through, trying to find where he is. Goes for the no-scope with the op. First kill goes the favor of UTSA, but Glorious with another 3K is able to close out the round for USF as they're now 7-3. Just a great performance out of the Bulls, and insane teamwork, specifically insane performance out of Glorious himself. Just absolutely phenomenal. 18-5 is insane. Hades is 11-2. Davey right behind him at 8-3 and 8. Just great plays out of the Bulls. It's showing on the KDAs. It's showing on the rounds. And UTSA, they've until that last round, they've been finding the kills necessary, and they've been in good positions, but the post plant just hasn't been there. From there, the post plant was ruined since the very beginning. Being down 3 very early has been difficult, and this also is UTSA's map pick, so you would like this to be going way better if you are the Roadrunners. But 7-3 is definitely something you can come back from, as Yakel misses the first op shot and goes for the repeat. Very aggressive. Throws the showstopper out, finds the kill onto the Jet, and the second shot onto the Cypher. The stun and grenade combo coming through. Davey's going to take that kill, but they just continue to push it aggressively. Yakel with the 3K with the op and continues to chase. He doesn't know where this last player might be, but now gets the information, and that's a 4K for Yakel. Oh my god, the flawless for the Bulls against UTSA's Eco. Just no mercy whatsoever from the Rays. He missed the shot and just continued to aggressively go after it yet again and again and again and again, and found 4 kills to his name. And there's just not much UTSA could have done there with their pistols in hand and stingers. Wow, absolutely phenomenal out of USF's Rays there. 8-3 now. UTSA does have a full buy here now instead. Aims to be going towards B, but the Tejo maybe making a little bit of noise with that drone, trying to give some information out to the team. Glorious with an op in hand finds the first blood yet again. Make that 2 now. Can he go for 3? There's a stun and a flash being set up here by UTSA's Breach, which might slow down these plays from this Astra, but he's holding his angles. He's ready for it, as UTSA is 3 stacked inside of this garage, but they're unsure where they want to go. I feel like they really want to go B, but they're trying to bait out any rotations out of USF, and so far it's working. Smokes will come through now, as well as the Omen and Tejo ultimate. It's going to force Glorious to back up all the way into CT, but he's going to hold the angle aggressively. Gets taken out by King Kai onto as the Breach for UTSA, opening up that space, making it a 3v4 now, plus the spike planted. Aid's going to back up, expects any potential lurkers down mid. There's not going to be any just yet. Miyako just, again, aggressively pushing with that op in hand. Blast packs away, throws the grenade as well. Aftershock is there, trying to slow him down. He finds a kill anyways before falling, but that's 3 out of UTSA's Tejo. It's a 1v1 between Hades and Kroip. Potential here. He's going to start sticking the defuse, gets it half. He's going the whole way. He's not thinking. He gets off it, and the shot from the Tejo is there. With a 4K for UTSA, able to get another round on the board for them, trying to slow down USF's momentum and making it 8-4 before getting into the second half. Great first half out of USF across the board. Good showing out of UTSA so far. They've made it definitely a close one. It's the scoreboard being 8-4 isn't as close as I feel like the game has been. So much of these games, I keep saying, these rounds have fallen into that post plant, but being able to get the bomb planted so many times in itself just shows that UTSA has a good plan in mind for these offensive sides. They just haven't quite gotten the kills and the perfect setups on the post plant. But now on defense, could change things up tremendously. Pushing through a Cypher could be very, very difficult. And just like we saw Yakult on the op, on the Rays on that first defensive half, I'm expecting the exact same thing out of the Jet for UTSA here as well later on in the round if they can build up the proper economy for it. Now, in the pistol round, we saw UTSA win this one last time. USF with a different approach, going through mid instead. Very slow, very methodical out of the Bulls, as we tend to see from them. Potentially trying to get some information and rotate here towards A. Only one player is going to be here for the Roadrunners. And USF seems to be exactly what they're going to do, is push this site. Wall goes up now. Continue to push up aggressively through ramp. The rotate has come through for UTSA, so it could be a little bit difficult to get through for USF. Yakult blast packs onto site. Doesn't find anybody there as Hades pushes into heaven. Is going to get taken out eventually as Yakult continues his push all the way into screens. I believe he saw the Cypher in there, so he's aware of it. Trying to take him out. Doesn't find much just yet. Trying to get the bomb planted as well. Don't quite get it yet. Glorious finds a kill of his own as Davey finally is going to get the bomb planted. Aftershock is going to force XTC to reposition here. Not great for USF as they're stacked up behind screens here and are going to get taken out, but makes it a 2v1 now. Davey gets a trade before the rest of his teammates fall. Glorious has now come through to help his teammate out, but Davey even gets the flash and finds the final kill, putting USF up 9-4 with that pistol round win, setting themselves up for being in a good spot to try and close out this game early on. Now, looking through these buys, expected out of USF. Oh, I thought Glorious had a Vandal. He did end up selling it and dropping it instead, but we'll have a Vandal on XTC. Nope, he sells that as well. So USF still figuring out how greedy and aggressive they want to end up being here. Outlaw in hand for Glorious. We saw him do pretty well with that op in that final round in the first half, so going to see what he can do against this eco with the Outlaw in hand. Now, as the aggressive team has a couple Bulldogs and a couple Spectres. I believe I saw a Sheriff as well. Aggressive play out of UTSA, trying to play aggressively inside of this smoke. USF is going to read it. XTC might still fall some classics. Shots not going to connect just yet. A lot of util being thrown from both teams here. Going to force everybody to back up and disengage from here. Oh! What a shot from the Bulldog out of Yakult to find the kill onto the Cypher. Hades with the Ghost isn't going to find the kill onto Breach instead. But USF is going to take that information to rotate all the way over to A. Know that this Breach is all alone here. They don't know quite where he is, expecting him to be screens, which ends up being where he's going to be. Quite low as well, but USF will get that bomb planted. Oh, a potential play in sewers here as the Jet rotate comes through, but Glorious is there to watch it, and he finds the first kill, the Aftershock as well, onto the Breach. The last player is on the flank, but Glorious is going to be watching that. Not sure where the flank is coming through, but he's expecting some sneaky shenanigans out of Kroip here. He's right behind him. Glorious feels like there's somebody behind him. He can feel him breathing behind his neck, but he's not 100% sure. The shots come through with the classic. He finds the kill, but that gives USF the information on where this final player is. Stun plus Tejo Util is going to stop this push aggressively from Yakult, but everything is being dumped. He finds another kill before falling, so pretty impressive there with the classic right click, but Yakult able to connect onto the final kill there and bring USF into double digits. Now, with their previous buy, having a Ghost, and I believe they had 2 pistols, that will allow them to buy 2 Phantoms into this bonus and carry over these 2 Bulldogs as well. And looks like Glorious is expecting potentially a buy an upgraded weapon here for himself as well, I think. No? I don't know. Well, anyways, a pretty good buy anyways, heading into this bonus round with those rifles to deal with UTSA's full buy. This is a very crucial round for the Roadrunners. USF is just playing so aggressive. Yakult was already in vents about 20 seconds into the round, which is just absolutely insane plays here. Finds one before getting traded. USF not expecting Rice to be lurking behind that box is going to find a kill before falling, but USF is probably pretty happy with these trades considering it is their bonus round, and UTSA is the team that is trying to build that econ back up in this second half to try and make this comeback possible. Taking ultimate out of UTSA is going to force USF to slow down their push through Garage, but they feel like mid is mostly free here as they find the kill onto King Kai with the rotate through vents and potentially forcing a rotate out of UTSA here. They're not really sure what USF is going to choose to do while USF tries to get on the B side, but they're also not sure on where UTSA is going to be set up. These two players are stacked up together. Could run directly into XTC here in
30
CT.
seconds left.
As the first kill goes UTSA's favor. It is a 2v2. That might have given UTSA the information that USF is trying to go here. The rotates haven't come through just yet. UTSA isn't very aggressive with the rotates. They're letting it happen as the util is going to force Hades to peek out, and the kills go in the favor of UTSA as they do end up winning that round. USF, though, are quite happy with how expensive they made it. Only one player surviving and saving their rifle, while the rest of the team is going to be probably forcing with some weaker weaponry. And there it is, the Judge Inspector. They're not in a great position here where they can feel comfortable in ecoing into the next round, but not a lot of money to buy great rifles to work with. The Bulldog and a couple Guardians can do a lot of damage, and the Judge on this map is very, very dangerous for sure, but not where you want to be if you are UTSA trying to make this comeback here. USF looking for a quick push towards A. The util comes through and World Divided as well. First kill does go to the Cypher, so USF a little bit more worried about that, or should have been a little bit more worried about that Sentinel setup there. And they don't get the trade. The World Divided is going to give him that safety net to back up, and the Judge as well could be dangerous, but Glorious finds that first kill. Yako continues to push through the smoke, is going to get taken out by Rice. USF not in a great position now, down 3 versus 4. Will drop the Rolling Thunder, and Hades is going to push up against that, but isn't going to find much. The Guardians from UTSA able to find 2 kills. Davey somehow finds 2 of his own through the smoke. The Flash might find the first kill, going to push through on the player defusing. Doesn't fully commit, but gets him off. Finds the first shot onto the Tejo, making it a 3K, trying to go for 4. The 1v4 potential here out of the USF's team captain. Is he going to find this kill? Not sure where this Jet is going to be playing from. Still not sticking. Gonna tap it. Has the aftershock to work with as well, keeping him off the bomb. The rotate comes through, and it gets read by Davey, who finds the 4K, the 1v4 clutch out of team captain here for USF to bring USF to 11 rounds now, 2 away from trying to close out this first game. Absolutely crazy. He found some shots through the smoke, played around the smokes perfectly, had the perfect util to work with saving 1 flash and having his stun come off in time and having that aftershock for the post plan. Just great plays out of Davey as the rest of the team got honestly a little overheated. They continued to push through smokes a little bit too aggressively, I'd say, and it didn't quite work out there, and Glorious not able to find that first shot. The crouch peek connecting a lot of damage to him as the rest of his team finds 2 kills through mid here onto UTSA, and from here USF can decide where they want to go. The Tejo util is going to slow down a little bit, but they have free reign on which side they want to go through from mid. They have full mid control. Nobody is in vents. As the Cypher pushes a little bit aggressively, Yako not expecting to get shot in the back. XTC will get the trade following the breach stun connecting on it, but gets stunned right in return, slowing down that push. But it's a 1 player on each side here for UTSA. Gonna miss the outlaw shots, and now it's a 1v4 as the last player is rotating in through vents. He's getting watched by XTC, who knows where he's going to be. He heard all the rotating happening. As USF finally gets the bomb planted, the peak comes through. He has a knife in hand, only a classic to work with, I believe. Flash gonna come through as well, trying to push aggressively. Upgrades to a Judge, but not gonna find the kill. Quite close, however, as USF get on to match point and are up 12-5. And UTSA, they've been forcing every single round so far in this second half after losing in round number 2. I've seen multiple outlaws, but USF has full shields, so you're not going to be finding too many kills with that. And he's going outlaw no shield as well, so going to be very, very difficult to deal with all the util damage that USF has, as well as potential spams through walls, and just not a great buy overall for UTSA, but they don't have a choice considering the situation they're in. The trip is going to slow down the showstopper here from Yakult, but still has plenty of time to drop the rocket launcher. Not going to connect on anybody, but continues to push in through screens. Finds the first blood for USF. The site is free. They get the bomb planted. Will play the post plant now, and they're in a pretty good spot. They have players on site. They have players watching flanks as Glorious finds a double, pushing in aggressively through Revs. Make that 3 now for the Astra. Haven't heard too much from him in this second half, but finding that 3K to potentially close out this map for the Bulls, and potentially going for a knife here as P-Word finds 2 kills of his own, makes it a 3K for him now. Needs the ace to try and keep UTSA in this game. Teho Util is going to force him to get off the bomb, was trying to defuse it, potentially not a ton of time to work with. Flash comes through and Davey finds the final kill, and USF will take map 1, which was UTSA's map pick. So something quite interesting to keep an eye out there. That is UTSA's map pick, and USF was able to take it in a quite convincing fashion, to be completely honest. I really liked what I saw out of the Bulls. The teamwork was great. Towards the end, got a little bit too chaotic and over-aggressive and potentially overconfident in how the game was going, but worked out tremendously in their favor. Multiple 4Ks, a couple aces, I believe, as well. Multi-kills all over the place from USF. And a pretty good showing from UTSA. I liked what I saw from their offense. Just need to clean up the post plants a little bit, and it could have been a much, much closer game 1, as we will be heading into a little bit of a break before we get back into game 2. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 is about to get started. We are going to be on Bind, USF's map pick. USF took first map split, 13-5. It was UTSA's map pick, so feeling pretty good about that if you are a USF fan here watching the stream. Should be getting into game here just soon enough as we are in Agent Select here. USF, like I said, up 1-0 in the series. I've been told that CVal is Swiss stage, so both teams are 2-2. So I'm going to blame the CVal website for being confusing because I definitely saw 5 games being played by UTSA and 4 by USF. So I'm going to assume the website is weird, and I'm blaming them and not myself. Either team that wins this qualifies for playoffs, is what I believe was the information I was given. Let me reread it again. Yes, 3 wins and you make playoffs. So both teams, very important series for them, trying to make playoffs into CVal here. 2-2, 3 wins makes the playoff bracket. As we now take a look at these team comps. Again, very different mentalities. This time USF is the team using a Sentinel instead of going for the double controller, and UTSA going for the double smokes, double smokes and double initiator here. Viper does play that sort of Sentinel role, but just an observation instead that USF with Hayes prefer to go with this deadlock on the bind, and I feel like it's a very good pick here personally. But almost entirely different comps besides for the Brimstone from both teams here. So going to be quite interesting to see what's coming from this. We saw USF play this bind map on Wednesday, so we saw how good they can be here. First shots come through. Kroip was absolutely massive for UTSA in the last map. Forgot how many kills he dropped, but he was easily a name to watch out for the Roadrunners here. Starting off very dominantly yet again, finding that first blood. It's now Mock with a 3-man push down mid, does find a kill onto Hades. A couple players are quite low for the Roadrunners as USF still trying to figure out what site they want to push. XTC playing through showers here, trying to get some more information on where this team is. The drone is going to scout out one player for USF here. XTC's timing might not be the best as the Viper's pushing through heaven. Not going to find it just yet. Now finally gets shot in the back, taken out. And Mock will find another kill off his own. Both players for UTSA, Mock and Kroip, on double kills here. Glorious 9 health to work with. 1 smoke. Not too much he can do with this classic in hand. So great pistol round out of UTSA.
30 seconds
making it chaotic and confusing. Spread out throughout the map with multiple team pushes together to find these kills. Rice takes out his counterpart, and that's another pistol round for UTSA. They won the first pistol round in the last map, so able to replicate that success here so far. Pistol rounds have been very close from what we've seen here. Now take a look at what these buys are going to end up being out of UTSA. 2 ghosts in hand, preparing for the bonus round. This is a pretty common buy that you end up seeing. I believe it was, oh, never mind. Now they do choose to fully invest with a Stinger and a Bulldog on those last 2 players. So definitely want to take that advantage as far as possible in this second round. USF going on full save, just a couple of pieces of utility purchased instead, as Word is able to find the first blood here with the Bulldog. And Glorious just trying to walk through that Viper wall was not a great decision. Gets taken out by the Sheriff here as Yakel trying to find anything he can here. USF playing a little bit slower with just classics in hand. Do have a Sheriff that they can pick up and upgrade here potentially, but do not do so just yet. They're kind of stuck here at this point inside this smoke. Not much that can be done. 10 health to Hades' name to work with, and everybody is here. 3 players with much superior weaponry in the hands of UTSA. Able to find a kill there is Rice. As USF chooses to finally TP over, but there's still 2 players here watching this. So they're just going to walk straight into the Jet, who finds the first kill, might find a little bit more, drops that one way. Davey isn't going to push in through that. The double smokes come through, and the spam able to make it a flawless for UTSA. Trying to make up for what happened in the last game. That second round was very, very detrimental in the first map, with all 5 of their players dying despite winning the round. So now, being able to keep all 5 alive on that flawless, while USF hasn't even found a single kill yet, could be very, hasn't found a kill, hasn't found a bomb plant. So the economy for USF, even though they can buy full rifles and util here, they can't do too much if this round doesn't go in their way. If they don't get a plant, they don't get these kills. So very, very crucial bonus round. But UTSA, like I said, able to bring all their weaponry they just bought into this and start building up a little bit better of a bank. Try and carry this momentum over. The Fades exchange prowlers here. Nobody's going to push aggressively off of that. Is USF planning to push this B site from B long, but aware of potential lurks through mid as Glorious finds the first blood. Saw a lot of that in that last map as Hade starts his rotation over. And Davey is here as well, trying to get through B short, but doesn't get too much. USF feel very undecided on what they really want to do on this map. They felt very much more decisive when we saw them on bind or earlier this week in their other matchup. So a little bit interesting to seeing the differentiation in play styles between this same USF roster on this map here. Prowler going to get the information that the Bulls are trying to push through here. The Decay is going to connect Davey with the Tejo util, able to find one kill. Rice gets one of his own before getting traded away by Yako. USF in a 4 versus 2 do have the bomb site completely taken over. TPs come out as well. XTC is in a good position to deal with this. Doesn't find the first shot, but does eventually find the kill. A little bit too close for comfort there for USF's Fade, as now puts USF in a 4 versus 1 here. The Gecko for UTSA. Haven't seen too much from his util yet, but he did have a couple kills in the previous rounds. Waiting for that wall to drop. Will now push through CT. Yakel expecting a play through Heaven, but maybe he just goes for a save here. I think he might have had a rifle. Not a Vandal or a Phantom, but I believe a Guardian or maybe a Bulldog, which could be pretty good in this next round if he just chooses to save it, as Yakel might consider pushing in aggressively there, but won't. Just going to TP out. Everybody playing it pretty safe, just trying to save the weaponry as much as possible here. Oh, he will eventually end up dying to the spike. That's what he chooses to do. Not going to save it. But does have enough to full buy into this next round. So a good bonus round for USF. Davey's the only one to fall out of it. Doesn't have money to buy, but potentially might get dropped by one of his teammates, as UTSA will have a full buy here as well, considering they won those first 2 rounds in a very, very clean fashion. So full buy from both sides, as Davey Reeve does eventually get a Phantom dropped to him here as well. So let's see what both these teams can do on an even playing field. Glorious with an aggressive push to be long here. Not going to find anybody just yet, as King Kai was just jump peeking, trying to get any information he can. XTC gets taken out by his counterpart in Mach. And Yakult is going to have to slow down his push there. Does do a lot of damage to that Fade, but cannot quite find the final kill onto it. So they have a util coming through, trying to figure out where all of these players are going to be, trying to get as much damage dealt as possible. The grab is going to connect on the Hades, which puts him in a little bit of an awkward spot, but isn't going to get spammed down, doesn't have util to follow through. And as USF seems to potentially consider rotating here, Yakult looks to want to push aggressively through Shower still. One way is forcing USF to stay back here, but they seem very committed to wanting to go to the site, don't have any presence elsewhere. Finally, the rotates and TPs do come through, but they leave Yakult in Showers, who finds a kill as Davey elsewhere finds one of his own, and USF fakes the rotate. They just keep running. The TP follows them, so they might expect this player to be running behind them, but they're just going to full commit onto this A side, as Yakult is all the way in Heaven, pushing aggressively into CT. The Viper Molly trying to slow down the potential plant, but just sidesteps as Yakult gets another one here. Maybe 3 whiffs on the shot, so Kroip is going to take advantage of that. Makes it a 2v3 for UTSA. the Battle of the Brimstones here could be the key turning point in this round for either team. Neither of them knows where the other is, and he's just on site. Glorious eventually will run through and find the kill on a Rice. Survives only 5 HP to his name as the Viper is now on site himself, trying to get more kills here, but USF playing very safe and Showers the util is going to force him to back up into a little corner, and the Molly as well is going to make that plant, that defuse, not come through at all, potentially considering a TP, and he does TP away eventually, wants to save that rifle into the next round as USF looks to tie this game back up 2-2 on their map pick. So far, honestly, so good from both teams. I'm not really sure necessarily where the big difference maker has been in any of these rounds. At first, it was obviously the difference in weaponry. That final round was mostly pretty close. The fake into the double rotate was... That's just something you can't really prepare for. You're not once you hear the TPs, you're not expecting a player to be lurking in showers. And that worked for USF. Siakko finding that kill allowed them to just completely take over the site and just aggressively push and find another kill deep into their spawns. We see an aggressive showers play out of UTSA now in return, trying to find the kill on XTC. The decay is going to connect, but they're not going to push aggressively off of that. I will say I would like that decay to be paired up with something for UTSA. Potentially the Fade and Gecko need to play together a little bit more, or the Fade and Viper. I would like to see that paired up a little bit better, because he's been connecting with those decays and those grabs, but nothing has followed up to make it scary for USF to handle with it. So if you have that Fade or the Viper or Gecko Molly, or maybe even the Brimstone Molly, to pair up with the Fade decay, that's something that UTSA could benefit from in these defensive rounds, as we see USF still continue to slowly and methodically try and figure out where they want to go, force a lot of util out, use a lot of util of their own before eventually TPing. And they don't have anybody on site, but they do have enough information to know that it's mostly a pretty free site. Tejo ultimate onto backside is going to force UTSA to not be able to stay there and delay any pushes potentially, as they do eventually get the bomb planted with 13 seconds remaining. First kill goes to USF. XTC finds one before getting traded away. Rice with the Sheriff able to get one in return for UTSA. Give them the numbers advantage, and USF Glorious able to make two now as the defuse is still getting stuck. USF finds that kill, but there's another player there. They're not expecting it, but USF eventually finds the kill anyways onto the final player, making that 3-2, taking the lead right back. I'm honestly not even sure what I really saw, why there was... Oh, it was the Gecko Wingman. Okay, I saw two defuses, but I only saw one person. The Gecko Wingman was trying to go for the defuse, but got stuck on Rice trying to defuse it himself. That was pretty interesting to see. Could have been a pretty different round, honestly, if Rice had just let the Wingman defuse and was instead holding that angle. He did get it halved, so could have been a very different round there if that had happened. So a pretty small thing that could have had a major difference in the outcome of that round, as Yaakov with the showstopper just pushes in aggressively, but gets spammed through, is going to follow. Trade goes in their favor, and that's another trade for Navy, who just continued to push in aggressively with Glorious on the site. USF now have the numbers advantage after what looked like a little bit sketchy of a early push on the site. They are up 3-2 in the numbers. There's a player on flank. USF, I believe, hear that as he's trying to break down the wall. The last player is CT, and Davey with the early spam finds that kill. Gecko is going to reveal his location with his util being used, and flank coming through out of Glorious, trying to find that kill on to King Kai. Has a knife in hand. Does choose to pull out the Vandal, is going to play it safe, not going to risk it with a knife, and will find the second kill as USF tries to increase their lead and their advantage in this game number 2. So far, so good. UTSA did have the weaponry there, but when USF kind of just walks at you and you don't win your gunfights, you don't really have much you can do about it. USF completely overwhelmed UTSA. They used the showstopper, didn't find the kill with it, but it got enough attention, and there was enough of a split push and pressure from USF into Showers that UTSA didn't really know what they wanted to deal with first, and the indecision and split commitment from the team, not all focusing on one side or the other, led to them just getting completely overwhelmed by USF's numbers. Oh, what a shot. I could barely even see him on my screen, and I have an X-ray to find that great kill out of Davey to open up space for the team to just get on site. Do drop Fade Ultimate to try and get any more information possible to know for sure how free the site is going to be, as they do get the bomb planted, but there could be a play from Hookah. They didn't scout out this Viper here still. Glorious lurking out around a little bit, but there's a lot of players in a lot of different places for UTSA. All of them could make a huge play in this round. USF are ahead 5-3 in the numbers, and they continue to push it aggressively. Don't have the best weaponry to work with, only a couple of sheriffs, as USF get that flawless anti-eco round to continue to increase that advantage. Now up 5-2, and there it is. The Jet is grabbing that op, which could be a very, very big difference maker here so far. There's so many different angles you can hold with that op on this map. You can play on top of U-Haul and watch A short. You can play from Showers. You can play from Heaven. You can play from B short if you choose. You can play from B long. Every single entry point on the site is a great spot to be with the op. And looks like he's playing on top of U-Haul here. USF doesn't have anybody there. Hades does like to lurk and watch this potential rotate point that UTSA has gone through a couple times, but haven't quite fallen to Hades in that spot just yet. But that also means that nobody from the Bulls will just walk into that ultimate just yet. Potentially now, with that Viper hit, could consider a rotate, but they do choose to use a lot of util to try and force her out. The spam's coming through as well to try and drop this pit, but not enough, as he's able to get right back into it is that Viper. Yakult finds a little bit of a corner to hide in right next to the teleporter, so I don't know if UTSA is going to be expecting this. He could make a little bit of a wacky play here potentially if he pushes through with that, or if somebody from UTSA tries to push into that corner. And he's right there. Tail is going to come out from the Bulls, try and create some space for them to get on the site. They're kind of just trying to jump through, but walk into each other. One kill goes in their favor as two go to UTSA, and now all even out 3-3. Fate Ultimate is going to come through the decay. In the silence, it's going to be difficult for USF to deal with as the players continue to push through from CT before Spike gets planted. Davey trying to connect onto those shots as the Fade duel goes in the favor of UTSA. And now USF, with 18 seconds to go, do choose to get the teleporters, and there's nobody on A. The Brimstone is rotating over, but I think USF wins this foot race and will get this bomb planted. Ooh, that Brimstone ultimate could delay it just enough, and Yakult doesn't win the gunfight, and Word finds the third kill for himself in the round to get that round for UTSA and get some momentum back in the favor of the Roadrunners. But he doesn't have that op in hand anymore. He had to drop it and doesn't have enough to buy it right back. So not feeling too great about that if you're UTSA, but you are pretty happy about slowing down USF's momentum and getting back on track here with that third round for themselves. Equal buys all around, Vandals and Phantoms for everybody. And mostly full shields. King Kai is the only one that doesn't have the full shields to go, but he does have that Gecko ultimate. So a playmaking potential there for UTSA, whether it's for a post-plant retake or if they even want to go for an early first blood. But nobody from USF is playing towards B where that Gecko is positioned. They're aiming towards this A site split between Showers and Short. But that's where a lot of UTSA's presence are. They have 3 players here, and this Jet is pushed up so aggressively. USF are going to use the drone to scout him out, but he just dashes it aggressively. Not really sure what he was thinking about that. All of USF's team is there watching that. Doesn't find a kill in return. Deadlock ultimate comes through, but doesn't connect onto anybody. Smokes come out. Oh, that got a little bit awkward for Yakult, but all the kills just go in USF's favor as they're now up 5-2 in the numbers here for who's left alive. And UTSA look like they're just going to choose to save now that they know the bomb's planted, and they can't do too much against this USF post plant. gonna take this time to drink some water. Everyone, make sure to hydrate. It's important to drink your water. Stay healthy. Stay fit. Take care of yourselves. Just like UTSA is taking care of themselves here by saving this weaponry, putting themselves in a better position for next round. Do have decent enough economy that most of their players, I believe, will be able to buy rifles. But USF, they're on the hunt. They do not want to allow them to save these rifles whatsoever. He just continues to chase through. Does have a little bit of util he can try to use to get these players out of these corners. Finds the first kill, maybe a little bit more, and that's gotta hurt if you're on UTSA. You saved that for so long, and over peaking a teeny tiny bit with the literal last second before the game ended. King Kai does end up falling. Only has 2,000 credits to his name, so not gonna be able to buy too much. Only gets a Bucky out. Again, does have his ultimate to work with if he potentially wants to. Didn't really have a chance to use it that last round, but something to definitely keep an eye on. Early gunfight in Showers. Yakult not really able to find his shots as P-Word able to find the first blood here for UTSA, and the double team against XTC, and he can't really do too much. He's done a little bit of damage, but he's left very low himself here. As USF still seem to want to go A, but there's a lot of UTSA pressure and presence here, which might potentially force a rotate as it eventually does come through. But there's still 2 players from the Roadrunners here waiting, watching for this rotate. Could potentially be looking at another double fake and a TP all the way back towards A. Davey is trying to get some information with his drone down A as well, but hasn't found much yet. And there it is. He's going to start joining his team as Hades just starts getting spammed through the wall, left at 5 health. There's a Bucky directly below him. That's not going to get spotted out just yet. Spams trying to come through from both teams as Glorious finds the first kill, but they just walk down into the Bucky. King Kai finds 2, has his ultimate, wants to use it, but is going to back up. Again, has the space for it this time as Glorious pushes through. USF 2 versus 3 will get the ball collected, and there it is. That Gecko ultimate that I mentioned does finally come through and will detain the final players. Rice gets a double, and that is going to be a round for UTSA, making it 6-4 for USF. Great plays out of the Gecko, with making great things out of an unfortunate situation. Only had a Bucky to work with after failing to save a rifle from the round before, but that Bucky was probably better than anything he could have had in that situation. Hiding right below Hookah, finding a double, and then still being able to jump out and jump into safety, and using his ultimate, Thrash, to find that final kill and make it a lot easier for UTSA, who didn't sweat at all about that retake. They felt very confident from how they were playing. They were very quick as well in the retake, aware that USF was trying to push that B site, which they are going for yet again. They're using a lot of util, trying to show their presence here. Has the showstopper to work with, might choose to go for it, and there it is. Going for the jump through the backside, will find the first blood, gets revealed and detected, but manages to stay alive as balls come through for the Bulls, and will eventually get this bomb planted. There's still a couple players here. UTSA won't be slow to react to this. Their entire team is in this hallway, ready to push through aggressively, but USF has to check these corners if they want to stay safe about it. Watching this smoke, but not sure where the player is going to be, as Hades finds a kill here to start it off. Glorious gets the kill onto the lurking Gecko. Last player left, and it's not going to be enough as XTC finds the double to make it a flawless for the Bulls, 7-4. And this feels pretty similar to the last map. USF was also up 7-4 at this point of the game. Managed to make it 8-4, but it's anybody's game at this point. Like I said, 7-4, turn it into a 7-5. That's a very close situation to be in, as we see 2 Buckies from UTSA here, which like we saw just a couple rounds ago. That could put in a lot of work if used properly, and we've seen these shotguns from UTSA be very, very difficult to deal with, as we see going for the ult. He is going to push it aggressively. Doesn't choose the right target, so is going to end up getting taken out, but leaves Yakel quite low, only 50 health to work with. You're going to try to push aggressively through the smoke, gets spammed. Eventually, Fade Ultimate comes out from USF, trying to get the information on where these players are, trying to make it a little bit easier of kills, but only connects on one. The Fade that they already knew was on site, so they're not sure that this Brimstone might still be there, but the first kill goes in favor for USF on the second engagement, making it 4-3 for them in the numbers, as Glorious finds the kill on his counterpart. Onto Rice, drops his ultimate as well. Doesn't find anybody, but USF takes that time, takes that space to eventually get this bomb planted. A good start for UTSA as King Kai finds the kill onto XTC. Trying to connect onto a little bit more here. Phantom in hand, spam comes through, trying to find some more damage. Not really able to, as Glorious will get that kill as well. The flank is there. Classic shots come through. He only had a Bucky to work with as Hades gets the last one of the round and puts USF up 8-4 heading into the second half. Feeling pretty good in their map pick here so far. So, USF up 8-4 yet again, exactly like we saw it in that first map, but not as big of a difference as we saw in that first map. I think at this point, Glorious was already at like 18 to 20 kills. Davey and Hayes were both in double digits as well, I think. Right now, it's across the board equal, pretty much, for USF. It's across the board equal as well for UTSA. A lot of these rounds could have been very, very close and could have easily gone the other way here. But USF able to close most of them out. No matter how close it is, the win is all that matters. As Yakel trying to push it aggressively will eventually get spammed. These pistols have been very, very good for UTSA all day long. And USF not able to get too much success with these pistols. I believe they won this round in the second half in the last map, but it was a close one. As we see finally UTSA get on the site, but XTC just takes them all down with that ghost in hand. It takes no damage from Heaven either. The drone is going to reveal where these players, remaining players, might be looking to go towards this B site, but Hayes on the lurk. But if I had to kill out of this Brimstone, he could find a little bit of space here. The TP comes through, which might be enough noise to make space for Hayes to find the kill, but Rice is aware of the flank. Is forced to crouch with the net, but Davey finds the kill. Tejo ultimate, or not ultimate, util, trying to find the planter, but not going to be able to. Bomb is down, but Keyword doesn't have too much he can do, as XTC on that 3K will put USF up 9-4 here. Great showing for USF. If you are a USF fan, you are very happy to see this. Both teams on equal footing both teams are 2-2 from what I've been told. Very big, very important matchup for both teams to try and qualify for CVal playoffs. The winner of this will clinch that spot for them. And USF put themselves in a good spot, up 1-0 in the series, won first map 13-5. Now currently up 9-4 following winning that pistol round. Now we're looking at their buys. The force out of UTSA, they feel like they don't really have too much of a choice. They can't let this game get too out of hand. The Outlaw isn't going to find the kill. Kroip had full shields to work with and will connect onto the headshot. Davey does get a trade elsewhere. Finding the kill on to the Fade as Rice kills his counterpart in Glorious. UTSA have the numbers advantage in this fourth round so far, and USF trying to bring it right back, and the aggressive plays have not been too great. UTSA continue to find the trades necessary. XTC able to get the kill on one, but USF still behind on numbers, as the rest of UTSA is now on B site getting that bomb planted, and USF has to be worried about any potential lurkers here.
Spike planted.
There won't be any, but you know, they do have to be worried about it. They don't have as much information as we do, so they have to check every single corner possible. Smokes come through during this post plan. Both players are on site. That Molly's going to delay the retake just a little bit, but Hades on a flank here is going to get watched by the Brimstone, so could be little bit dangerous, but the rim zone is so low that all it takes is one bullet. Hades is able to find it. The second player is here. Guy with the Stinger is able to find that kill, but the Bulldog for XTC. Dangerous finds the first, tries to find the second. The Molly comes through, trying to dodge the Molly. Doesn't want to die to it. Trying to now try to save his Bulldog, but will eventually fall as well. A great round from UTSA, able to capitalize on USF's aggressiveness and overconfidence and completely take it all the way over into, well, not an eco, a force round win following the pistol round loss. We'll have Vandals to work with in this round number 3 and an Outlaw that Kroip saved from the previous round, which could be very, very difficult to deal with for USF, considering nobody has more than any half shield and only 2 players with half shields to work with. So any shot from that Outlaw from the body up is going to be a kill. The aggressive push comes through. Word finds the first blood. Rice gets the second one for UTSA. And USF was just sheriffs in hand, getting a little bit too overconfident and aggressive here as well. Not able to find too much out of it just yet. Do have a decent amount of util to work with, but it's going to be very, very difficult to come back in this round as UTSA trying to mount some momentum, to mount this comeback, to stay alive in this map and in this series. Aiming to go towards this B side. Nobody from USF is there, so once they get enough information, they'll be aware that nobody is there at all. And they can get the ball planted for free as USF do start to take the team to go for that retake.
Spike planted.
Does get planted. A couple players are in hookah. Will drop down. USF has that information thanks to the fade eye. Hawk will find the kill. B-Word gets one of his own here. Now 1v5 for Glorious, just as Sheriff has to move through multiple players. Will get the spam onto the Jet, but now 17 health, gets regen up with that regen shield, but again, not a ton to work with here. Potentially just playing it slow, doesn't want to feed away any orbs to UTSA. Just gonna try and die to Spike. Maybe get some entry frags here or exit frags here as well as UTSA goes for the save. He is being watched though. UTSA expecting that play to happen, and that's now 2 rounds in a row for the Roadrunners, who are now down 6-9, but it's a much, much closer game than what it looked like earlier on. Now USF though will be back into a bye round here. Had to save in that previous one with just a few sheriffs. Do have enough to full buy for the most part. Yakel did have some util saved from the previous round, so didn't have to worry about how many shields he was going to buy into this one. Kroip yet again with that Outlaw in hand. Saved it from the previous round. Didn't die with it, so no reason to not have it. Won't find as many easy kills since USF did mostly buy full shields, so we'll need those headshots. But still a lot of good damage that can be dealt with that Outlaw, especially from a Viper who's not necessarily looking to be playing too aggressively. First to hold these angles as Jet dashes into Yakel, gets stuck on the door, not able to get too much out of it. Yakel makes it 2 now with that raise and the Phantom in hand, trying to get a little bit more, but playing it safe, playing it smart. The bomb did get stopped, didn't get planted, as XTC and Hades each get one of their own. Make that 2 now for Hades as he closes out the round. USF with a very, very clean bye round there. Able to reach those double digits, 10-6, trying to close out this game number 2. UTSA, though, did have enough of a bank built up in the previous 2 round wins to be able to buy rifles across the board. A couple half shields is not what you want to see, but you are fine with that if you have your Vandals and your Phantoms. USF, on the other hand, as well, does have full buy here. Glorious with that regen shield yet again. Saw it last round already, but he took no damage, so able to bring it into this round. Playing very aggressively in showers, and looks like UTSA is considering contesting it, but USF has 3 players here, so it won't be the best decision if the Roadrunners try to push off of the smoke. Smoke does fall. USF tries to make the peek here happen. XTC finds the first one, trying to get a second here. There it is. Yakult gets the kill. Mock elsewhere will find the kill on the Hades, but Navy knows that there's another player here. Will find the kill in return. Weary of a potential flank from Hookah and knows that there's at least one player there. Util trying to force him out, trying to get back into safety. The spam comes through though. King Kai able to get that kill for UTSA, making it a 2v3, a much more winnable situation they were in previously. But still unsure on where they might choose to go here. Brimstone for USF is still watching this A site, and that is where they're trying to go. But
30
the
seconds
moment
left.
Glorious hears the spike being planted, he's going to peek out and try to potentially find a kill. If he doesn't peek out earlier, waiting, just waiting for one of these players shows themselves a little bit too much. They'll end up using the wingman to get the spike planted, so much safer. Not able to get too much information away to USF through that. Fade ultimate is going to come through. Just makes them walk into Glorious's bullets, but he's going to fall. The Jet was ready for it, and they just walk in one by one, and Yakult with one shot is all it takes to find the kill onto both. Gets his ultimate off of that, gets USF the round win, and that just completely ruins UTSA's economy, as they're going to be forced to eco or get a really weak force buy, while USF is going to be setting themselves up for match point here if they can win this here. Timeout will come through out of UTSA. They're trying to think through what they need to change up here on this offensive setup. It's not been terrible, as they've won a few rounds and made a few rounds close. So it's very difficult to figure out what's going wrong when you've not necessarily been doing much wrong on offense. It's just a matter of some of these gunfights have just been going in USF's favor. Some of USF's util has been a little bit better in terms of being able to find these kills in this half. The ult advantage is in USF's favor as well, I believe. I think it's 3 ults for USF and only 2 to UTSA. So a lot that this team has to figure out and communicate on what they want to do here to try and stay alive in the series. While USF, they get this time to talk to, but I'd like to see them at this point in the last map. USF got a little bit overconfident and just kept running it down, and it gave away a few rounds to UTSA. I feel like if that were to happen again in this one, UTSA would kind of just take that and run with it with the momentum, and take that momentum, and could make it a little bit scary for the Bulls. And the force buy is a little bit better than I was expecting. You have a couple Guardians and Bulldogs to work with as the first blood goes in the favor of UTSA. They do get traded away instantly, and that's just a distraction as the rest of UTSA is looking to go into showers here. 4-man push, able to find a kill. Ultimate's going to force Glorious to get back on the site, trying to hide from this Jet. Doesn't find the bull as necessary, gets a couple shots down, but doesn't find the kill. As P-Word finds the knives to get the kill there himself. USF is behind 2 versus 3 in this retake, and Davey doesn't have a lot of health to work with. Does have his ultimate, though. The running of the Bulls could be very dangerous here to deal with for UTSA. They do get a kill traded as Hades found one. Makes it a 1v1, and Davey isn't going to be able to find it as Corpse Classic is enough to get that kill. A team ace from UTSA keeping them alive here. And USF using ultimate. Used 2 ultimates to try and deal with that. Not able to get much in return, and are gonna choose to save now. Go for a sheriff buy across the board. XTC has enough money to go for a hero rifle, or potentially drop for somebody, as Glorious will be using a judge, and Davey does have that bulldog to try and make it a little bit more expensive for UTSA here in this round. See a much different approach. We don't see the full rush from Showers out of UTSA. It's a split push from A short and Showers, while the Fade's just trying to make as much noise as possible over here onto that B site.
Bring them down.
USF need one more round to reach that map point. UTSA trying to bring this game back to stay alive in the series and potentially qualify for CVal playoffs here, which is what's completely at stake here as we see ultimates coming through. So much util from both sides. USF hiding behind all of these smokes. Judge in hand, able to find the kill is glorious. Fade Eye is going to give away a lot of information as Deadlock ultimate comes through. Yet again, doesn't connect onto anybody as Mock finds another kill here for himself. Make it 2 now as he gets the kill on the XTC as well. King Kai able to get 1 as Hades pushed in a little bit too aggressively. A 3K for UTSA's Fade as now Davey with 5 health to his name has to win this 1v2. Both players are completely split up. This feels like a 7-10 split in bowling. Can he find the strike and the spare? He gets 1. Can he make it 2? And he does! Davey with the Bulldog making it bark, putting USF on map and series point, able to make the 2 1v1s happen and get the defuse with 5 health to his name. Just absolutely insane clutch from USF's captain yet again. I feel like we saw the same thing last map to put USF on match point, was Davey in a 1v4, and now he gets the 1v2. UTSA does have enough to buy, for the most part, a couple Vandals and Spectres here to their names, but USF on a full buy with Vandals across the board. Every single player double-digit in kills and positive in KDA. A great team showing for the Bulls so far as they try and close out this map and get into CVal playoffs. All they need is 1 more round here. UTSA aiming to go A again. They've done this multiple rounds in a row now. USF have a decent setup here, but are aware of this Fade making this noise towards B, but it's the exact same thing that they've done repeatedly over and over so far on this offense. It's worked. They get on site, they get the bomb planted, they get a couple kills. The post plant sometimes doesn't go as they planned, but for the most part, it's been pretty good as the early engagement there onto the Fade. Not able to find the kill either side. As UTSA trying to continue push through showers. Some spams come through. Damage favors USF in that trade. Davey continues to try and spam. Doesn't find too much else. 50 seconds to go in this round. UTSA still really, really want to go to the site. I feel like a rotate could be pretty smart here, but USF with the flank as well, closing out how much space. Thrash comes out, the Brimstone ultimate from USF to counter it. Yakult finds 1, Glorious gets 1 of his own, and Davey gets 2, and the Showstopper comes out, but the show is stopped by Davey with the 3K, able to find the kill, able to close out the map, able to close out the series, and that is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. USF with the quick 2-0 to qualify for CVal playoffs. A great showing from the team today, both individually and as a group, able to show the teamwork, the utils together, and able to win basically every gunfight they could, every gunfight they took. A good showing from UTSA as well. I did really like what I saw. They had the right strategies for a lot of different situations, but USF able to just get just on top of them and find those kills necessary at the right times, get the clutches necessary, and completely dominate the economy. I felt like UTSA just couldn't quite ever properly build up a bank for the entire series, which carries on. That momentum takes a series by storm, and you don't see it coming. And that's exactly what happened in this series. USF, every time they got a couple rounds, they just racked up the bank, and they just continuously got those rounds together, and just a great showing from the Bulls. But that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for showing up and supporting this solo cast. It was a fun one. First time doing it. It was definitely interesting. But thank you guys for being here and watching the team and supporting the team and supporting the stream. Good night, everybody. And as always, go Bulls.